Manganese, most people don't even know what that is. So here's the deal, 2 gold stars for the person who tells us what movie that line is from. Just a little thought for fun. Guys, I am going to talk about manganese today. I'm standing out here in a neighbor's bean field thinking about the fact that as we look out across here, he'll be coming back and spraying. He's got some broadleaves starting to show up and some other things here, and he's going to be back out here spraying soon. And so we want to talk about manganese in relationship to that. Now, if you're spraying glyphosate, we know that year in and year out, it has made significant net income for the grower if he will put a pint of our chelated manganese in with his glyphosate when he sprays. Why is that? Well, how many times have you ever noticed that someone sprayed their beans or their corn, and after they sprayed it, it turned yellow? Kind of a John Deere yellow, or maybe a pale yellow. I know one time we were doing a field day out in Nebraska, and we were really trying to impress everybody, going to have a couple hundred of the top growers in the United States come in, and I left, and when I left with the retailer that was going to do the spray, and I said, all right, now there's manganese right here. When you come and you spray the glyphosate, please add this to the tank mix. And we pulled back in the day before the field day, and lo and behold, we had yellow beans everywhere, everywhere. And I sent my son up to the shop. I said, Kurt, go look there by that shop door and tell me if there's 20 gallons of manganese sitting there or not. He came back and he said, yes, there is. And so I called the ag retailer, and he came out, and you guys know that they send agronomists to a special school, and what they do is they teach them how to tell you to say the phrase, it will grow out of it. And the agronomist for the retailer came out, and he parked in the ditch, and he jumped out, and he left his truck door open like he was in a big hurry, and he made a circle out through the field. That was all done for my benefit. And then he came up, and he put his arm around me. And I just started laughing out loud. And he's like, what? And I said, just go ahead and say it. He goes, well, yeah, they're yellow, but it'll grow out of it. And I just laughed at him because, you know, the bottom line is, yeah, your soybeans won't stay yellow. They will grow out of it. Anytime an agronomist says it'll grow out of it, the real question is, what did it cost me? How much was the yield drag because of whatever it was in this case just being yellow flashed? Now, we've had a lot of discussion. A lot of people have chimed in as we've talked about this over and over, and they talk about antagonism between the manganese and the glyphosate. We've got people that say, yeah, you should use it, but when you take manganese and you put it in with the glyphosate, it reduces the effectiveness of both. And guys, that is true if the manganese you're using is not 100% chelated. And guys, this is critical. This is the critical component. There's a lot of people selling manganese, and they want you to go spray your glyphosate, and then 3 days later they want you to make another pass and spray the manganese. That will probably help, but it's not nearly as effective for a lot of reasons. One of our friends, Greg, big shout out to you up in Northern Illinois, and he did some testing for us. He heard us talk about how important 100% chelation is. And so he sent in a competitor zinc that he had already purchased for the year. And when Greg sent that in, it came back, it was 6% manganese, just like the label said. But the chelation in that was 94.6% was not protected. A shade over 5%, like 5.4% was chelated, and 94% plus was not. What does that mean? That 94% of that manganese that's in there is going to go in there, and it's going to tie up with the glyphosate. Let's remember, guys, glyphosate was never built to be a weed killer. It was intended to be a chelator. You were going to put it into industrial water. It was going to grab onto the minerals in that water and drop them to the bottom. So if we come along and we put non-chelated manganese in with our glyphosate, the glyphosate grabs onto the manganese, drops them both out, and both of them are ineffective. You get no effect from your manganese, and you get no effect from your glyphosate. So it's not as simple as just grabbing the first jug that we find and dumping it in there. It's really critical that we have a 100% chelated product. The other thing about a 100% chelated product is it holds on to the electromagnetic charge that will let that product get into the leaf, that it will protect that charge, and so it will be drawn into that plant so that we get it where we want it, and it's going to take care of that. People want to know about, well, what is the cost? It's going to run you anywhere from $6.20 an acre to $7.30 an acre, depending upon the size. Now, those prices are all factory direct, and we encourage you, our people set up, they open an account, they work with us on a factory direct basis. Products are shipped straight from the manufacturing plant to your house. We cut out a whole bunch of middle people in there, no brick and mortar, so to speak. What does this do? Well, we know that when we put glyphosate in there, it doesn't kill anything immediately. It takes the weeds that are out here in this field and it literally starves them to death, because that glyphosate is going to capture those nutrients coming up into the plant. It's going to keep them from getting into the plant, and the plant is going to starve itself to death. That's why it's not a quick kill. And while it doesn't kill the Roundup Ready beans, what happens is it does make them a little sick. I use this example. You may get the flu and you may not die, but you're going to be really non-productive for 2, 3, 4 days. Our soybeans aren't going to die when we spray glyphosate. However, they're going to be non-productive for 2, 3, 4 days. And what we want to do is make sure that our bean plant or our corn plant never has a bad day. We want to do everything in our power in order to help that be healthy continuously all the way through. And that's what putting chelated manganese in does. It helps that to come along and do those things that we need that plant to do, to stay dark green, to keep chugging along with photosynthesis, to be healthy in every way. I see a lot of products coming out right now talking about stress proofing your crop. We're going to do another video on that soon. But fundamentally, guys, stress proofing your crop involves doing the right thing for it, not doing anything that makes the crop stress more, and doing all the things that we can to set that crop up for the most success. Spraying glyphosate without manganese stresses the crop. And so if we'd like to beat that stressor, here's one what we can do. It's relatively easy. It's less than $7.30 an acre, and you can implement this as a low-hanging fruit with no effort. You just co-mix it with your tank mix and you roll. Guys, it's just like reaching out and grabbing that big red juicy apple that's right on the bottom of the tree. This is your opportunity to do that. Yield response is typically 2 to 17 bushel. Those numbers came from Purdue. We've had some people who didn't seem to be too interested in that, and that's totally cool, because I know this. I was looking back, Karen went back and found some videos from clear back in 17. And every year since way back 17, even previous to that, every year we have people join our team for this one single reason. They come in and they say, hey, I want to take a toe to that manganese and I want to give it a try on a couple thousand acres. And they do it, and they're all still here, and they're all still happy. We would like you to join the Happy Club. So reach out to us. Send us a message here on the Facebook page. Send us a text. Give us a call. 641-919-1206. I'll be mowing hay all day. I look forward to hearing from you. Don't be afraid to reach out, guys. Hey, by the way, we do have one of the fundamentals of agronomy coming up in the Des Moines area in mid-July. If you'd like to do that, set through that with us, come on up. We'd love to talk to you. Reach out. We'll talk about how to get you registered. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you find value in what we do, give us a share. Tag a friend. We really would appreciate that. And remember, 2 gold stars to the guy who gets the movie named that the opening line was from. I hope you guys are really having a better day.